Uh-oh.
Joyce, you and Danny's team there? I hadn't met you before. Or Shannon's or all of ours.
No, none of yours.
None of ours. We want to know all your secrets.
I'm an adopted person by Danny. He just
We want to know all your
invited.
marketing secrets then.
Yeah. It's great to have another female on with us, Joyce.
It's always good to have a female.
Yes.
Amen to that.
Well, you ladies were talking about how easy we have it as guys, but you have to realize the reality of the situation is this is the best we get.
Well, you know what? That's a very valid point. But you know what? And I don't mean that ugly. I mean it from the aspect that, you know what? You guys gray and you get debonair, right? We gray, we're just old.
We gray and we color.
John Connor is my hero.
Yeah.
That's true. John Connor does have it going on.
He does.
Yeah, and he's like, how old, 70 or so?
Oh my God.
105, something like
Older
that.
than that, I think.
More than that. He was 36 in 1968 when he did Goldfinger, was it?
Wow.
I mean, he was, anyway, I think, I don't know. We could Google it and find out. Hey, there's a cross brand over there you're pulling up there with Herbalife, Miss Joyce. I beg to. It's
Hey,
not an
guys. Are we having some fun?
We are.
Awesome. Well, we're live, guys. We're live right now. Yeah.
They like my glass.
I got my Dr. Pepper with me today.
I have to cover what it says.
Yeah, turn it around backwards or something.
Yeah. I'll just put my hand over it.
Well, thanks for keeping it PG, Charles. I appreciate you looking over that.
PC and PG, baby. Count on me.
Yes. So, listen, we're live, guys. Welcome to the Hangout. This is the Freedom Team Hangout, 8 p.m. Eastern, 5 p.m. Pacific, every Monday. We're going to be doing these live Hangouts for you, for the team. And this is going to be about a 20 to 25-minute call each week. It's a place where we can meet, get together, tell you what's working for us, give you some news and updates, bring on some new people. We have someone brand new to give you guys some inspiration or maybe some tips of what's going on in their little world there with carrot bars. Joyce Becker, we're going to bring on in a minute, and we have Robert, Charles, Shannon as well tonight for you guys. So sit back, take some notes if you like, but keep in mind everything is recorded, and it is playing live on our website, thefreedomteam.co. Thefreedomteam.co live stream going on right now. You can also visit the archive links there you'll see from the previous weeks. And also, please take a look at the website. Give us some feedback. We'd love to hear from you. And if there's any suggestions that you have, tips, anything you'd like to add to the website, by all means. This is a group. This is a community. This is for everyone. And we'd love to hear from you. So just want to go over a couple of things, some news. Obviously, if you guys are checking, you should be checking the back office of Carrot Bars on a daily basis. But if you're not, there are some important things going on. Take a look at there's a ticker across the website in the back office. There's a website out there in Asia that's trying to replicate what we're doing. It's completely fraud, okay? Just make sure you know that if anyone asks you, they're trying to replicate our business, and it may be confusing some people. So the company put a message out. They wanted us to let our teams know, check the back office. It is only one. It's carrotbars.com, and that's a company that we're part of. One website, one company. Also, the incentives for the Las Vegas convention are posted. I don't know if you had the chance to look that over. Some really exciting incentives to get you guys pumped up about the convention. If you want to get your convention, get down to the convention and actually get it for free. There's an option to do that. There's tons of rewards, cash rewards, and prizes and things like that. So take a look at that as well. Also, the KYC we mentioned last week. We want to make sure that when new people come in, that we get the KYC updated right away, which, as we all know, is identification and a utility bill that recognizes where we live. Make sure that matches the information that we put in our profile. That's it for news, and please take a look at the back office to make sure you're updated with all of that. Last thing I want to mention is that if you want to be on the company newsletter, I'm personally managing that. It's only going to be about Freedom Team information, about Freedom Team news and updates, and about Karatbars. Okay, so if you'd like to get on the list, either SMS, by phone if you're in the United States, or on email, just visit the website, thefreedomteam.co. All right, guys, let's bring on Joyce. She's brand new. She's never been to this. Hey, Joyce, we're going to hear from you in just a minute. And guys, if you're viewing, if any of the panelists are viewing the live link, just mute that out so there's no feedback. We had feedback last week. So Joyce, tell us what's going on. Give us some of your passions, and it's great to have you on. Let's hear what you have to say.
Well, thanks for inviting me, Danny. I guess I'll just start out with a little bit of my history with Karatbars. I did join Karatbars originally when it opened in the United States in 2011. And I mainly joined because I totally love the product. I mean, gold, what's not to love about gold? And I was very keenly aware of what was happening to the dollar and how it was tanking. So I got Karatbars mainly as a savings account. I did bring a few people into the business, but I was doing other things at the time. So, and actually, back then, the Karatbars company website was pretty clunky at the time, so I didn't really pursue building the business at that time. But then, you know, last year, I kind of took another look at the business. I had heard something about this 12-week strategy that you had going on and the dual teams that were starting to form, and it was kind of starting to look a little interesting. So I went back to revisit it, and the more I was looking at it, the more excited I got. So, hey, here I am. But of course, by that time, my direct sponsor had disappeared, was no longer involved in it. So I just started out hanging out on the Breakfast Club and sharing things on the Breakfast Club. And I did find that to be a really fantastic resource. And I really made some lifelong friends there. So I don't know if you guys happen to go to the calls or not, but if you do, they're Monday through Friday at 11 a.m. Eastern Time. And put in a little plug here. This week on the Breakfast Club is Ladies Week. So Kim Bennett and myself are hosting this week. So I invite you to join us. And then also, as I was exploring and getting back involved in Karatbars again, I met Danny on Facebook. And he was very kind enough to invite me to this group, which is awesome. You guys have a great resource going here. And I looked at the website today for the first time that you're putting together, Danny. That is fantastic. Very great. So as far as what I do in Karatbars to market my business, I get most of my prospects online. I'm using one of the done-for-you marketing systems because when everything is done for you, I like that. I'm pretty lazy that way. So recently I have been using the Tools Rock. I've also looked at the Garage Full of Gold, and then of course there's the system that is in the Karatbars back office. So I've looked at all of those. I've used all of those at one time or another. And I find that I mainly drive traffic to these systems from my blog because I've been blogging for a long time. And I also use social media. So leads coming from those kinds of sources, I like that because they already know me, they know who I am, I don't have to explain myself to them, and they have seen the funnel and they have seen information about Karatbars, so they're ready to take action. And then if I'm not getting enough leads from those sources for any reason, then sometimes I'll place like a solo ad out there, and that will just augment the lead flow that I get. And then also, another thing that I'm doing, I'm also participating every other Tuesday in the Mining for Gold Hangouts at 2 p.m. on Eastern Time. time frame. The last few weeks that we've been doing that, we've been talking about mindset and relationship marketing. And tomorrow, put in another plug here, tomorrow Cheryl Ann Gober is going to be our guest on the broadcast. So definitely that is one that you want to plug into if you can. It's 2 p.m. Eastern. I think Danny actually put the link out there in the Facebook group. I think I saw that earlier today. So basically, I always strive to be in lead abundance. And like I said, if I'm not getting enough from the organic things, I will place a solo ad out there. And then if they show interest, which they usually do after coming through that funnel, then I will send them to a Karatbars presentation and schedule a follow-up appointment with them and get them into the business. And that's pretty much my system, and that's what I've been doing. I do have a couple of updates that I happened to hear on some calls that I was on that Cheryl Ann was talking about, and they're actually language updates that are coming from corporate. In the past, we have been saying, when we're talking about the kind of gold we have, we've been saying currency grade gold, and now she's saying that we should be referring to it as good delivery gold. And another thing, we have been saying the gold is from an LBMA certified refinery, and right now, and they're updating that to say LBMA accredited refinery. And then also when we're referring, one more thing, when we're referring to the 12-week plan, instead of saying 12-week plan, they would prefer if we say 12-week strategy, because when we use the word plan, it's sometimes confusing to people. They think it's a requirement that is coming from corporate, and it's not. It's a voluntary strategy that you can participate in. So that's basically me in a nutshell, and I'm excited to be here and sharing stuff with you and this great group.
Well, awesome. Thanks, Joyce. Actually, that's great. We have some new stuff to go over. So I would imagine that the company will send out, I'm sure, a newsletter with all the new lingo.
I would think so. I think Cheryl Ann, actually Cheryl Ann will put in another plug. She's going to be the guest on the Breakfast Club on Wednesday of this week. So I'm going to ask her about it then, because I'll be interviewing her then.
Okay, awesome. So the interview is tomorrow, and then Cheryl Ann's on Wednesday as well?
Yeah, Tuesday and Wednesday. We got her 2 times. One on the Breakfast Club tomorrow, one on the Breakfast Club Wednesday, and one on the Hangout tomorrow.
All right. Well, if there's anyone on this call for the first time, or if you've been in the team and you're listening for the first time, Cheryl Ann Gober was the first associate that came into Karatbars in the United States. She represents, she's on the core team. She's on the inner team that works with Harold Seitz, and she is part of like the decision makers that helps build this company from ground up. So you really want to make sure you're on. She's a ton of fun. She has all the information. So make sure you're on to listen to Cheryl Ann. She's just priceless. She's awesome. Let's bring on Charles. Let's get you on here. I appreciate the PG level tonight and keeping it real for us. And can we hear your voice?
I hope so. How are we coming in?
Awesome, awesome. Just tell us what's been going on in your world and what do you got going on and anything new you could share with us today.
Sure. You know, for me, the Karatbars is more than just a nice way to make some good online money and some cash. It's a branding, it's a legacy, it's storing up treasures that will benefit my family, and so that I can spend more time as being a dad. And I've got a couple of tools that I use, and I tell each people, for new people coming on, is I walk out and put these little gold bars in people's hands. And I say, you know, have you seen this or do you accept this here yet? And it starts a conversation. But I let them hold it and tell them what it is. Another tool that I'll mention is for anybody, I mean, they've got Karatbars cars out there, and I'm going to say it is Zazzle, ZAZZLE.com. A lot of people are asking about where to buy business cards. You know, you can print up some standard templates there and walk out and talk to people. You know, over the weekend, we just made a big move. I've got a 5-year-old set of twins, a little boy, girl. And it was about 10 o'clock at night on Saturday night. And I'm just finishing putting my little girl's twin bed together, and I almost collapsed. I was pretty much exhausted. She's like, Daddy, I mean, thank you so much. Why are you so tired? It just took you a few minutes. I'm like, honey, if you only knew how long it took me to get this bed together. And she's like, what do you mean? I said, well, you know, instead of reading your story, let me tell you a story tonight. When we go out and market and some of the people doing these things, all they see is the end product. I mean, went out and brought in like 100 people, I think, within a month. I told 10, went online social, and people just see that you do all this. They don't realize all the things that it really takes, because this isn't a get rich quick. It's not something that's just blowing up and everybody's making a ton of cash without actually doing some work. And I said, honey, I started at 6 a.m., got up, went, got my U-Haul. Waited for my guys to deliver. You know, I had to pack the U-Haul up with all the things. I had to go over, and lo and behold, my moving guys didn't show up, kind of like my SEO guys and some of the other people that are supposed to show up and help you. Didn't show up. Frantically got on the internet, looked for some other moving guys. Well, it's about 1 o'clock now. They were supposed to be there at 9. So 4 hours late getting started. I'm still sitting out there in the hot sun and the dust, and then I have to unload an entire storage bay into a U-Haul, pack it up. The guys that they sent me short notice had no packing experience. And I said, honey, sometimes people come that are inexperienced and you got to help them. And I'm relating this to stories from my little daughter. She's such a leader. And I said, you just have to depend on yourself. You know, plans and goals can be made in stone, but the plans have to be made in sand, because a lot of times there's a lot of ways to get there, whether it's online or offline marketing. And to make my story a lot shorter, it wound up being 10 o'clock at night before I got everything unloaded, got all the parts together, found all the missing link parts, found all the parts my kids had taken the tools into different rooms, and scattered parts about while I'm loading other rooms. And so it took me till 10 o'clock at night. But I started at 6 o'clock in the morning. The end result was my little daughter was happy. But there's a lot of things that take it to get it to there. And I see people get in and kind of start and stutter, and it's like you've got to plant seeds in 2 or 3 different places, find out what bears fruit. For me, I'm happy talking with people. Some people aren't. Some people, I like them to call me on the phone. Some people would rather have different strategies. Find your niche by doing 2 or 3 things that are affordable and comfortable, and find out where it bears fruit. And then pour your plant, you know, pour your fertilizer into what bears fruit for you. That's it for me.
Awesome. Thanks, Charles. I appreciate it. And who's next? So let's see, Shannon or Robert. Would you like to? Let's see, Shannon. You want to come on and tell us what's been going on with you, or maybe there's something you want to share tonight with the folks?
You know what? I love, absolutely. Thank you first. Thank you for having me. You know, I love what Joyce said, the strategies that she uses, the strategies that Charles used. You know, I've been doing a little something different, doing some offline marketing as opposed to so much online marketing, right? And what I found there is that the relationships develop at a different level. You're sitting across from somebody, you're actually talking to those people, you're doing things. I'm trying to say this appropriately, y'all. You know, one thing that I found is people online are not always as honest, or, you know, maybe they don't have as much money as they pretend to have. They have like a, you know, we brand ourselves, right? And that, so there's a persona there that I think a lot of people hide behind rather than just being honest, right? So offline, I'm finding more quality, y'all. Not that there's not a lot of really nice people online, but you know what? Offline is just where it's at for me. And I just want to encourage everybody, you know what, go out to your realtors, your local mom and pops. There are so many different options. Go to the unemployment office, wherever you feel comfortable. You know what, talk to some of your friends, get together, go party in their house. There are so many offline options, y'all. So if you're not, you know, if your SEO is not working and your sponsoring online is not working, because, you know, one thing that I found people who were buying packages, y'all, and I couldn't track them down for training. I couldn't, and I couldn't understand why is this happening. And, you know, I think that the reason that a lot of people, there's so many shiny objects online, right? Now, granted, you know, we all have different things going on too. I mean, I'm not knocking that, but at the end of the day, I think there's a lot of quality offline, and you're going to develop real, actual relationships. And I'll just leave it with you at that.
Yeah, absolutely. And I think, not even I think, I know my bread and butter is always been offline. And I think personally, my feeling is that when people do come online, it's for another reason. It's for a different quality of a business, but not necessarily. Let's say, for example, what you're saying, Shannon, makes a lot of sense to me. When I'm offline and face to face and look someone in the eye and a handshake or an eye to eye contact, yes, you can do that from a video to video,
Right.
but there's something powerful behind, shaking someone's hand and sitting down for a cup of coffee, not having 1,000 distractions pounding at you from either side.
And,
I
and
think,
yeah, I
yeah,
don't mean to interrupt, but you can gauge their passion and their sincerity. And when you're able to look eye to eye with somebody, it is completely different than an inbox.
yeah, absolutely. And the other thing I said too is, I think I mentioned once on these calls or one of the training videos, was that if you choose, let's say for example, if you choose email as a delivery, let's say you first join Carabars, you set up your consultation, and you go over getting yourself set up and to take the next steps. I personally like to launch, help others launch their business, rather than sit and try to work along, like say a couple days, and we're all going to get to a point where we're going to continue to work on a daily basis, but to launch your business and have the most success within the first 30 days or first week. I told everybody when I first started, I called 100 people. Now, I'm not suggesting that you go on, well, I am suggesting that you pick up the phone and call 100 people. But what I'm saying is that if you don't want to pick up the phone, you can use email. But here's where I'm going to throw it in and say, if you choose email, pick up the phone and show seriousness to what you're going to do. So if I call Shannon and say, Shannon, I have something really important that I'm going to email to you. I'm just checking if you're still at abc@shannon.com. It's either a yes or a no. There's nothing else. Yes, great. Check your email in 2 minutes. I'm going to send something to you right now. Now, Shannon, number one, she's going to get the email. It's not going to go to spam. It's not going to go to anywhere else, otherwise undetected or not viewed. And she thinks it's important, so most likely she'll pick up that email. But the point of this is that it shows seriousness in what you're going to do. So if you choose email, be serious. If you choose video marketing, be serious. If you choose offline, be serious. At the end of the day, this is a business, and you have to be serious with your people. You bring someone in, if you don't, give them and honor them the same respect that we had when we first came in, you're not going to find the quality and duplication with your teams. Robert, love to have you give us some words here of wisdom, or tell us maybe a little bit if you want to share something with the team tonight. I'd love to hear from you as well.
Well, can you hear me this week?
Absolutely.
Great. All right. Well, everybody's touched on pretty much everything technically and as far as prospecting. But what I want to talk about tonight is comfort zone. We hear all the time that you got to get out of your comfort zone in order to be successful in marketing. I think of it a different way. If you were comfortable where you are, you would not be seeking another opportunity, and you would not be watching this live presentation right now. So you're not in your comfort zone. You're seeking a way out of and towards your comfort zone. So fear has to be tossed aside. Whether you're knowledgeable about online marketing or comfortable with face-to-face marketing, don't have any fear about it, because you can't mess it up. Because this is all about building relationships with people. Like Shannon was saying, show them the real you, bury yourself a little bit, and listen to what they're saying about themselves. Identify their problems and show them how you can help them with carrot bars to make their lives better. But the biggest thing is to don't sit on your laurels. You're going to have times where things will be going really great, and then all of a sudden it'll just stop. Don't let that dissuade you. Go out, go after your dreams. Don't ever let anything stop what you're doing, because success is there, and it's coming, and it's waiting for you. You just have to get up and go get it. That's all I have to add today.
Awesome. When you said that, I thought of training someone to be a swimmer, and I'm taking them to the big pool, but I kind of danced around getting there, and I wasn't really too comfortable about taking there because I was fearing myself jumping in the pool, and I think the prospect in that case would sense that fear. and maybe they wouldn't jump in the pool with me. So totally hear you. Love it, guys. Great meeting. Anyone else have any final words? We do have, let's see, we actually have a couple minutes, so if there's any final words for tonight, anyone, jump in. All right, guys.
I'd like to say welcome, Joyce. Pardon me, I skipped that from the beginning. So glad you're here on the group, and just a big welcome. There's so many ways of doing this, and so glad you're here with us. Thank you.
Charles, did you want to acknowledge anyone anyone in your group that's really taking on the 12-week plan and just going for it?
Not right here publicly.
Okay.
I'll do it privately.
Awesome. Well, you're having tons of success, and guys, please model after Charles. Guy's got it going on. I mean, take a look at his group; is growing tremendously every day. And please use the Freedom Team Facebook and Skype. Now, we put on the freedomteam.co meeting places: Facebook, Skype, email, and SMS. If you want to be on those lists, like I said earlier, please enter your information, and we'll get you on the the newsletter that goes out for the team. And any ideas that you have, any suggestions for the team for these meetings? Personally, I'll tell you that we're going to be kicking off some new training as well. We'd like to bring in some specific training for the elite members. If you're not already elite, I should say. Just to mention, that's a silver package or higher, and that's going to be a plan on an auto ship, either weekly or monthly or bi-weekly, something that gets you in the system working with the team. Elite members has a separate group. We encourage everyone, if you're here to make money and to build ultimate freedom for you and your family, Elite is where we're all at, and that's where you need to be as well. We welcome you with open arms in that group as well, and we'll be doing specific training, very core training for that group, so we'd love to have you there as well. That's it for tonight, guys. Have a great night. We'll see you next week, 8 p.m. Eastern. Have a great night, everyone. Take care. Bye-bye.
Y'all have a great night.
Bye-bye.
Bye.